This one is done by our student, Emery, and unfortunately he is not able to get the visa coming here, so I'm here to present for him. So what we did here is that we built a portable acoustic sensor and has some edge machine learning capability on it. So here's sort of what we built from the node, talking through our own network and build sort of a web GUI to track the urban noise. We used two microcontroller, PIC24 and 32. The reason the 24 basically focus on processing the audio and raw data, and the 32 is use it for the machine learning and for the node. Use a LoRaWAN transmission radio, and then we have MEMS microphone. We also use a solar panel, so we have to build a energy harvester. That's the solar panel we use is 0.32 watts and 1 amp battery as well. That's the Erdem one, because in Calgary where I live, it's typically winter to be -40, and actually today we're -10, whatever. So that's why we need some battery to able to live during that winter. You may ask a reason why we want to do this, because this is actually an actual use case to the research teams that during lots of the musical events, we have to send peace officers standing there and say, hey, your concerts, events, your noise is exceeding a certain threshold. Here, I give you a ticket, enforcement, $250 versus $500 bucks. And basically, people come back with evidence. They say, show me, where's the evidence? So that's why we kind of pick that path and say, let's build something we can deploy there around the concert and build sort of acoustic geofence. So we can capture these violations and then preserve the evidence as well. That's where it's from. So quick basic math is you have to use a 1 hour long-term equivalent because that's our by law definition. That you have to measure average 1 hour long-term equivalent. If it exceeds 65 dBA, I think this place is a AU term, then you can get the tickets. That's the daytime. And then if it exceeds dBA, then at nighttime, you can basically say that they are triggered enforcement limits, right? So this is how we calculate the long-term equivalent value there. We also, since I mentioned about use cases, basically we have to, now we build these devices, we have to compare with the commercial one that our bylaw office is using. Currently they're using the BNK 2550L, which is about, I'm not sure about the price in US, but Canada is around $6,000 Canadian dollars to get one. So our cost to build this one, this point is about 250, 280 Canadian dollars. So definitely it's not apple to apple, but most of the functionalities that were built already been used by law. And the difference is that the BNK devices it's up to per second, measurement per second reporting. So they burn the batteries, everything very, very quickly, right? 4 hours, I didn't mention, it's about 15 minutes reporting, which is already sufficient for our purpose. We don't need per second monitoring. So we're gonna calibrate our devices compared to their devices as well. So this is the model we use for CNN. So we try SVM and CNN. The reason why we're doing that is SVM is the out-of-box one, the out-of-box CNN. We just want to compare, say, let's just don't do any modification, don't try any quantization. Let's see how it works and compare the performance on this simple device first. Because our hardware is, as you can see here, the memory and the power is very limited. It's a battery power, it's only 512 kilobytes, right? So there's not much room we can do. It's a 5-layer CNN, very typical CNN, and then also we use the benchmark, the Urban Sound 8K. Some of you probably heard that Henry the other day, he's talking about this data set is kind of challenging because even we tried it online and put it on computers and even look at some literature, it's on 90% accuracy. So this is not an easy task to do the classification. So when I mentioned about classification, also that's the case. Is that why do we want to do a classification? Because we want to understand, is this a construction noise? Or this is a racing car? Police want us to do that. Or is there some other things in the city, right? So there's a classification task over there. Actually, today before I just checked my email this morning, so some of our students actually running different algorithms and different data sets, and using the same model, predicting some real data sets from collecting the streets, they actually hit like 93, 94% of classification. So, but this is anyways the benchmark data set. But this is how the feature is extracted, right? So eventually we want to have the MEL spectrogram and also the MFCC for our as input features. The MFCC basically gives us a little bit more points and some correlation for us to understand the features. So we use both the MEL spectrogram and MFCC. And by the way, we use a Q31 fixed point as well. And so here is the what we use to compare the SVM and the CNN. The MEL banks are 80 versus 40. So you might see that why we're using these odd numbers. So typically you have a higher MEL banks actually get higher accuracy. Unfortunately, that's what we can get to hit the memory boundary. So these numbers are picked because that's pushing our boundary of the memory sitting on the device. You can also see the CNN. We can't even use the MFCC because it's already running out of memory. So, we did try experiment. We didn't show it here. Is that if for SVM, if we use the same MEL banks, actually the performance is almost equivalent with CNN, or could be worse, right? In this case, if we use this configuration, this company could be. The performance of SVM actually is outperform the CNN for classification. And this is the confusion matrix that you can see based on the urban decay data. So let me go back a little bit here. Just want to mention a few other things is that we also have to do a little bit power management and handle the communication part. So I could somehow have to set some transmission threshold, some transmission interval that make sure the devices report back the health check and heartbeats back to the network. Simple energy harvesting, and we tested this throughout our entire winter last year. And here's the power management cycle of the flow. And you see, it's a simple flow that basically is divided into, let's say, the two MCUs, how they handle it work, and such part, and decided when it should transmit. There's two scenarios. One is that if nothing happened, but it exceeds the health check, then report it. The other one is when it exceeds the threshold, you report it. And then sending the classification results back as well. We already talked about that one. So this is almost some of the last result I want to show is that you can see how this power is divided. The board side how frequently we run the model. So every 5 minutes, right? You can definitely see like it's the when you're running the model inference on the edge, it consumes most of the power. And the energy harvest threshold, so you cannot exceed, otherwise the battery is down. Right? So right now at this point we're using 15 on field. That's what we agree on with the business, like the enforcement team. They're happy with 15 minutes. And here's the backend dashboard that this is on the university side. So on the real case that we have different dashboards. And I know that 2 minutes, hopefully that's enough time for questions.